And we are rolling. Hello, everybody. It's Jeremy Osterberger. We're here at the Energy Projects Conference. I'm here with Jeff Cline of Rain for Rent. Jeff, how are we?
Great. Pretty awesome. There's a lot of energy in this room, so even after a heavy lunch, you can't help but have some energy around here. Right?
Hold on, man. I feel good too, man.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Well, Jeff, a lot of people know you, but for those that don't, tell everybody what your role is at Rain for Rent.
I'm a national account manager, strategic account manager, whatever you want to call it. But at Rain for Rent, we have to do a lot of different things, so that doesn't put me in any kind of silo. So I get to do a lot of different things. I spend most of my time in the petrochemical market. And this is obviously one of the I call it the areas where there's a lot of energy around, so there's a good focus around this. So I spend a lot of time driving revenue in general. I work with some of our national accounts, but obviously we're always looking for new opportunities and new revenue streams.
And so, Jeff, you mentioned the downstream kind of petrochem world.
Yeah.
What other industries does Rain for Rent operate within?
Man, it's interesting. A lot of people don't realize this Rain for Rent, we got this weird title, right? We got our name, I know, I could get chastised for that. But there's a really good story behind this. We're based out of Bakersfield, California, where they got great soil but no rain. A lot of the crops and things that we get for our salad bars come from that area, right? But there's no rain. So we're a 90-year-old company, so we've spent decades in the agricultural market making it rain on those fields so we can have things like cabbage and carrots and things of that nature, right? But we took the same equipment and applied it to industries like construction, environmental, obviously petrochemical. So there's an oil field near Bakersfield, right? So it was very natural for us to get involved in the oil field. So we took the same equipment that you would find, the pumping, the piping, filtration, and applied it to all these different industries. So we're very diverse and we do a lot of different things. So this is what we're doing today is just actually a very small part of what we do at Rain for Rent. So I appreciate the opportunity to explain that because a lot of people
they don't know.
Understand that. Yeah, it's really hard to
One
explain.
of the coolest logos in the industry.
Yeah, it really is. It stands out for sure. I have to explain it about 22 times a day.
So cool. Well, Jeff, you mentioned Bakersfield, California. Yeah. I want to talk about geography. I want to come back to the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
What kind of locations and coverage are we talking about? I want to talk about Rain for Rent's presence here in the Gulf Coast.
So for what we do, it's really important for us to have a local presence. Different services have different strategies. Some people can have the ability to cover large areas. That's not something that's great for us. We have to have donuts like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So we do have a branch over in Midland, Texas, but then we got Corpus Christi, Houston, Dallas, Beaumont, and then so that's kind of that gives you an idea.
And then of course over in Louisiana.
In Louisiana, we go into Baton Rouge, and and so we have branches in Arkansas that come down to the south, close those gaps. We have a new branch in Oklahoma City.
Oh, fantastic!
That's brand new to us. And we also have a new branch in Jacksonville, Florida. So we're always opening up new branches. So we're closing those gaps all the time.
So, Jeff, you talk about geography. Let's go over to service. Give folks an idea. I know you can't list them all, but give us a 30 seconds on your capabilities.
Yeah. Let's see. So, again, going back to what I was talking about at the beginning when we're talking about the liquid handling aspect of the irrigation, the pumping, and the piping, and the core, that's what we do. We're liquid handling. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of wastewater. So we're talking about a rental company that specializes in that, right? So that involves pumping, piping, filtration, storage tanks, and that's the crux of it. But when we're talking about that type of equipment, it's not like a forklift where you're driving it or a generator where you park it and let it go, right? A lot of these things are a critical path to these customers' applications, so they have to be installed properly. There's engineering that has to be involved with it. It all has to be applied properly. So we're actually unique in that we actually engineer and execute work. So again, going back to that irrigation thing, you don't just go spray a field, right? Those systems have to be engineered.
Yeah, so customized engineered systems.
It's wild. Some people know us from actually doing Hollywood movies. That's not anywhere what I do, and it's like this part of our business. But people know us. But again, if you're going to go create a rain scene for Pirates of the Caribbean or something,
Absolutely.
You don't just stand there with a rod. It has to be engineered. It's the same thing in what we're doing here in downstream and upstream and everywhere else.
I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, I guess my final question for you is, what are you hearing here at the show? Or better yet, where is Rain for Rent headed? What are some of the new initiatives you guys have going on right now?
That's a good question. So Some of the things that are new are also some things of the past. But I'll say, let me speak to the new real quick, because I think there's a lot of buzz in the news right now about data centers and the things that we have to have for all these growing economies.
Power, good.
Power. Yep. What makes the world go around, and what do these people have to have?
Power.
What do they have to have? They have to have water.
And
water makes the world go. Water and the sun, right? So if you think about a computer, the way it heats up, it has to have mechanisms to cool itself, right? So same thing with these data centers. There's like big monster computer systems. So they have to have So they have cooling systems, and they have to have water. So as they build these centers, and there's going to be a lot of water involved. There's all kinds of commissioning involved to clean these water lines, things of that nature. So again, we come in where infrastructure doesn't exist, right? So we're taking our pumping and piping, and we're helping to do some of these flushing and some of this infrastructure, so that we can start construction and bring some of these things online, right? So that's number one. So I know this particular conference is kind of LNG heavy, so that's kind of the new thing. But what's really cool is we've had a number of conversations earlier about a project that I was involved with probably 15 years ago, when this LNG thing became new. When there was just a little 15 years ago, there's just one or two kind of thing.
Well, and we were importing.
Right. We were importing it. Right. And so then they build these big monster tanks, and everybody's like, whoa, what are these spaceships they're building on the coast, right? So what was cool is I got to be part of some of the very first projects, and that involved, and these things are monster, right? So a lot of these tanks, there's a conference downstairs that focuses on above ground storage tanks. They have to hydro their tanks. Well, these LNGs, they have to be weight tested. They're so monstrous, they got to make sure that the ground can support them, right?
Yeah.
So in order to test that beforehand, you fill it up with water and you simulate. So I was part of one of the very first projects where we filled one of these tanks up with water, fully enclosed, and these tanks are like 10 feet wide in their size on the walls. But anyway, I had a number of people come up to me, and they were talking about that project and how that was one of the
groundbreaking projects that you did.
Yeah, but now they've learned, and it's been evolved and tweaked, but it's still relevant.
Now they do it.
And now they're like, we're still now we're seeing this growth and this resurgence and the interest in this thing. So now it's like, how do we take that and move that into what we're doing now?
I love it.
So it's pretty exciting to hear how some of our past experiences are now. We're still. Makes sense. We're still evolving and tweaking those things in the future, so it's pretty good.
Well, Jeff, thank you for your time, and always great to see you. And,
appreciate you all.
Oh, always. And Jeff, thanks for hanging out with Vic Magazine for the
Thanks for you all, dude. It's a great event, so thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.